back to my talk show. Let's talk about with Richa. And today I have an amazing guest all the way from UK. Her name is Cooke, and I met her online, and I feel like I've known you, Nina, forever. We clicked right away. We talked. But my audience doesn't know you. So would you be so kind to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and your entrepreneurial journey?
Thank you. Such a pleasure to be here. And I've really enjoyed chatting with you online. And it's so great to be able to talk to you face to face. For those of your listeners who don't know me, I live in England. I live just north of London and just south of Cambridge. I have a husband and four children and a dog. My ethnicity is I'm Indian. I was born and raised in England. I fell into entrepreneurship just by accident. I had children, I'd taken time out to raise them. And then 2005, I started working for this lady who had a personal shopping business. And I ran it online for her. And then I decided I didn't want to work with her any longer. And I didn't know what to do. My kids were still young, but I felt I had a bit of space to do something. And my husband said, well, why don't you run a personal shopping business? You know how to do it now. You know all the workings of it. And I thought, okay. And I did it. I didn't know that I couldn't do it at that point. So I built a website. I started building a really great team of personal shoppers and makeup artists. And in a very short time, I became a flourishing business. It was astonishing to me that it was so easy to do this because I didn't know that it would be a struggle to build a business. I didn't have that belief in my head. And I remember it was London centered. And I remember I got a call from someone who said, do you offer this service in Manchester? And I said, yes. I didn't have any personal shoppers or makeup artists in Manchester. I asked one of my London stylists, do you know anyone in Manchester? She said, yeah, I did a shoot with this lady. She's brilliant. And so I just started becoming national. And I thought, okay, what I'll do is someone asks me something that I haven't done yet. I'll just say yes. And then I'll figure out how to do it. Because it's a network of people and someone will know someone and someone will know. You're a prolific networker. And I suddenly sort of tapped into this fantastic network of women who are brilliant at recommending other people. So I did that for a few years and I was behind the scenes. I was doing all the sales and marketing and kind of making it all up as I went along. But I had a big drawback. And my big drawback was that I hated being visible. I was one of those people who thought it's really scary to be seen. It's dangerous to be seen because I was brought up in a family where I felt it was I never could speak up. I wasn't able to speak up. I had no voice in the family. And therefore, I always stayed below the radar to stay out of trouble. Because I thought if anyone focused on me, they would tell me off and I would be in trouble. And that wasn't a good way to run a business.
No.
I had a website, but I didn't have my name on my website. I didn't have my photo on my website. And although back in 2005 until 2012, when I ran the business, social media was taking off. You didn't have to be on social media. So I wasn't on social media because I didn't want anyone to see me. And I was like this faceless person running this business. And the face of the business were my personal stylists, personal shoppers and makeup artists. Now I had four young children and I felt like a fraud. I absolutely went through life feeling like a fraud because I would pretend to be confident, but I wasn't confident. I pretend to be outgoing, but I wasn't outgoing. And I wanted my children to have an authentic mother, someone who felt good about herself and comfortable in her own skin. It felt really important to me. And it got to the stage where I had a terrible situation at a corporate gig that I did. I wasn't able to take the opportunity to speak to the high-level managers at this corporate gig to try and do some more work with them. I completely blew that opportunity because I didn't have the confidence to go and speak to them. I actually hid in an office at this corporate do. And I only came out of that office right at the end when it was time for me to help, all my team to pack up. Another train on the way home, I was thinking, you've just done it again. You keep doing the same thing where you hide away, you don't speak up for yourself, you don't ask for things, and life's going to pass you by.
Mm.
And I remember sitting in that train and making that decision, the commitment to myself, I'm going to try and do something about it. I'm going to fix this. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how much money I have to spend on this. I am going to find a way to feel comfortable with myself and
Mm.
to feel brave and feel confident.
Mm.
And that started me off on a long, long journey of figuring out how to fix myself. And I really thought I was missing something that other people had. That was missing. There was something in my, inside of me. And I had to find out what that missing piece was to sort of get it inside of me somehow.
Mm.
Anyway, I tried lots of different modalities and methodologies and personal development trainings and workshops and all sorts of things until I came across a guy who said, well, the only reason you don't have any confidence is because you believe all your limiting beliefs are true about you. Things like, you're not good enough, there's something wrong with you, you're not important, all this stuff. And I thought, okay, well, I'll try this. I've tried so many other things. He showed me how to identify my limiting beliefs, these stories I'd kept telling myself about me, and dissolve them. And once I dissolved them, I stopped feeling scared.
Mm.
It wasn't an overnight thing, but it was a gradual thing. And it was absolutely true for me that I didn't have those limits in my head that I had before. And that enabled me to start stepping out. I started booking some really nice business clients, like Goldman Sachs and Sky, and because I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared of putting myself out there, and my business revenue increased as a result. It was a direct result of me feeling braver and more confident and telling people about what I did and being able to charge more and all those things. And I thought, well, that's interesting. As I worked on myself, my business grew. There's definitely a link there. So, mindset and profitability are linked. And by then, I'd lost interest in my personal shopping business because my passion now was, well, if this works for me, this has got to work for other entrepreneurs as well. I've got to get out there and tell people about this. And that's what I've been doing since at that time. I've been working with entrepreneurs and helping them to connect the dots between their their belief system, their habits, their behavior, and their results.
Yeah.
And if they don't like their results, then you've got to go to the root cause of all of that and change your beliefs, change your programming so you can believe that you can be abundant and you can be fulfilled and you can really go for very big goals in your life
Yeah.
and believe that you can have them.
Yeah. Yeah. I love your story. I love it. And I love the fact that what you were on your journey, that you were looking for a missing piece, something that everybody have, but you don't have it. I think a lot of women, especially, because what you did was a little bit more like a man who's like, oh, I don't know it, but I can do it, and you will just say yes, and then I'll figure it out. It's very few women who start their business out of that, and do it like that. But most of the women that I've worked with have that feeling, like you said, that I'm missing something. I'm not successful because I'm missing something, or I am not that confident, or I'm missing the sales gene, or something like that. Um, and then they start the search outwards.
I didn't like myself, and that was the biggest problem for me. I didn't like me, and I didn't want to go through life not liking me, not understanding me, because it's very hard to carry yourself through life when you're not connected with who you are.
So true. So true. Yeah, I hear it. I get goosebumps when you talk about that, and when you said you didn't like yourself. I think we have been there, most of us, but I think that's the key, isn't it? I've been trying to when yeah, I tried to lose weight many years because I gained a lot of weight when I gave birth to my son, and I didn't like myself. Literally didn't like myself. it wasn't until a few years ago when I started to say, first, I like myself. I had to find small things to like myself. I like always like my eyes. I like this. I like my hand. So it started gradually because it was very difficult to come to the point I love myself. But now I'm there, but I've been there for a while. And then suddenly with a little bit change of habits and then internal dialogue changed. Also the weight started to come off. So yeah, I think we can achieve anything if we just take that look inside, turn the vision inside. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's
What you
powerful.
said is actually encapsulates everything that I do, all the work that I do.
Mm,
It's to get to the point when you think, okay, I'm doing this to myself. It's not society telling me that I'm overweight or anyone else. I'm telling myself, and I'm telling myself in a very savage, unkind way. And I've got to change that inner dialogue. And that's really all it is, because that is the cause. The inner dialogue is the cause of our results. And once you started doing it, it's just the way you've described it is absolutely amazing. You started finding things about yourself. You made that decision. I'm going to change the way I think about myself and I
mm,
talk to myself. I'm going to change my my self-image.
yeah.
At the moment, I think, well, I'm overweight, and people say, well, I'm unattractive, and I feel like this, and I don't feel good about myself. It was all the stuff I used to say to myself. But if we go through life with that inner dialogue, then we're going to expect all of this stuff in life.
Right.
And so you started saying, well, I'm going to find things to like about myself. I'm going to start changing my inner dialogue. And then as you start you change your programming,
Yeah.
you change your belief system, the rules that you've set for yourself in life.
Mm,
Actually, you know, I am lovable. I am deserving.
yeah.
I do expect to have great things in life.
Mm,
I do expect to be successful. And then when you change that, that then starts changing your habits.
yeah.
The inner dialogue, your
Mm,
self-image, then starts changing the habit, because the habits will have to start matching the inner dialogue,
yeah.
the new dialogue, and then the weight starts dropping off. But when people try and change habits without changing their
Mm,
belief system, they keep running into a brick wall, because the belief system is the powerful programming that has to be changed.
yeah.
The habits come after the programming has been changed.
Correct. Yeah, because otherwise the habit doesn't last very long. It doesn't become an habit. It just become something that you're trying out, and to actually become a habit, and which is put into your subconscious mind, and it automatically gets there. It takes time, and you have to do it many times before it does actually become a habit. But I also worked with a lot of women who cannot make the journey from having a negative inner dialogue to saying, oh, I love myself. Because again, we come back to the point that it feels like an imposter syndrome, that, okay, I'm just saying it. It becomes like a chant, but there is no emotion attached to it. So I kind of start with, okay, well, there must be something that you like. Some one thing or two things. Oh, I do like my boobs. I do like my eyes. Or they find something that they like, and then that's where we start. And then the dialogue changes a little bit at the time, but it is sometimes it takes work. It takes work.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
repetition.
Yeah.
I mean, when we want to master anything in life, whether it's a hobby, it's a musical instrument, it's learning to, drive a car, whatever it is, we don't do it straight away. We don't get the results straight away. It's not like, well, we do it, we do to get good at something. We'll do it once a month for 10 minutes and then we're going to be great at it. We have to keep repeating it, because at the beginning it's so unfamiliar, feels so strange, when maybe you're learning to play the guitar. You have no idea. If you've never read music before, how are you going to make any sense of anything? But if you keep doing it 30 minutes every day, after a month, you're going to have some progress. And the other thing that happens when you keep repeating something, you keep repeating it, is you start getting some new ideas coming in,
Yeah.
some new inspiration coming in, because suddenly you're thinking about things in a new way.
Mm,
And that sets up a whole, because everything's energy. We are all energy. That sets up a whole new little energetic wave of new ideas.
mm,
And little opportunities can start coming up. And because you've got some new thinking, you can actually take advantage of those opportunities now, because your confidence is slowly rising.
mm.
And then before you know it, you're changing your self-image into a much better, healthier self-image, which ramps up the new ideas, ramps up the inspiration, new habits are forming, and it just becomes like this snowball
Yeah,
effect.
a
But you've got
positive
to
snowball. Yeah.
become aware, first of all, that I don't like the way I'm thinking. I don't like the rules I've created for myself. They really limit me in life. I want to change that and make that decision to change. And people, we want instant gratification these days. We're just being trained, do something and you should get good result, otherwise it doesn't work. But don't expect instant gratification with this. It does take time. It's a lifestyle. It's a new practice
Yeah.
that you can do every day to have a better life.
Yeah.
And it's a great discipline to think about what you're thinking about and to say, I don't like that. I'm going to change that
Mm.
because I want to have a better life. It will lead me directly to a better life.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. I think we can talk about this forever because it's very inspiring to hear your story and how you connect that confidence and the mindset change and habit change directly linked to profits in your company. So tell us about Millionaire Mindset Mastery for card.
It's my it's my gift to anyone who's interested in figuring out why they're not more successful. This scorecard is being created to help you to identify all your limiting beliefs around money and success.
Mm.
So you start getting that awareness, like you got the awareness. I'm not talking to myself in a very nice way. I need to change that.
Mm.
So once you have the information that this is how I'm talking to myself, these are the blocks I've imposed on myself, then you can take the next step and say, how am I going to remove these? Because while I have this thinking, like, it's a struggle to make more money, I don't deserve to be successful, etc., while you have these blocks, you're not going to get the results that you want in life.
Mm.
Because whatever actions you take, your programming will override those actions and you'll keep self sabotaging yourself. You keep pulling back. You'll keep making excuses not to, network or to put yourself out there and put your offer out there. You will keep making excuses not to do that. So change your programming. If
Mm.
it's not right for you, if it's not making you happy, then you have the power, and only you can do this. No one can go inside of you and sort of tweak things. You've got to do it yourself, but this is a really great first step.
Wow. Nice. So did you hear that, people? We are getting a gift. So you will find the link to the gift in the description, in the caption. So after the interview, do go and click and check it out. And we all should, even if you worked with your limiting belief and your mindset before, it's always good to have a new look on it in the beginning of this year. And maybe you can generate even more income. There's always there's always the next level to go to. Even if you've done the work once, it's kind of a fresh commodity. You still have to work with it. Because what I have realized is that even if I've worked with my limiting beliefs and my habits, there are always new ones that sneaks in, because I want to push myself to the next level and the next level, and I want to try out new things. I want to push my business to the next level. When I go to something new, there is another limiting belief and a discomfort. So I guess it's a good exercise to do the inventory sometimes, what is happening and take the time to look inward. So I'm definitely going to try it out. So you guys have to try it out. So thank you, Nicole, for Nina, for those gifts. So I want to ask you because you talked about your story and the changes and so on, and you've been running a business without actually showing your face and hiding, but with your change, a lot of, you had a positive change in your business, and you took it to the next level and earning a lot of profit, and you pivoted and you went to another business. But with all of this, also balancing your home life and business and yourself and health and relationships, how do you define success? Where is the definition of success in this?
That is such a great question. and it's such a personal question. For me, success is not just money, it is really seeing the transformation of clients and feeling I've done something to help them to live a better life.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's also work-life balance. There's three things. It's client transformation. It's being able to give my family treats and lots of lovely things and, really give them a lovely lifestyle. And it's having a nice work-life balance myself.
Nice.
So I work 4 days a week and I'm very protective of my time and I love my free time.
Yeah.
So it's having a combination. It's not perfect by any means. Sometimes something slips and, I go into this mode too much or whatever. But it's keeping those things in balance, which
Yeah.
is for me success. What does success mean to you?
A lot like you. I really treasure my time. I started my entrepreneurial journey 20 years ago when I got my son. And I always appreciate the time that I could spend with my children and decide when to work. I didn't have to, clock in and clock out and have that stressful life where kindergarten, this and that. I always took time in the morning to eat breakfast with them, talk to them, have, be calm so it's not a stressful morning. Um, I always appreciate that. And if I could go to bed satisfied with that day, that is success for me. There's always going something on. Oh, I forgot this, like that. That is something different because I'm so passionate about what I do. And success for me is living this life that I have designed. I feel like I just love to do whatever I do, and it doesn't feel like work. But the biggest success is that I can control my own time.
Nice. I love that. Yeah, we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you said, finding that work-life balance, health is a very important, you know, um, part for us entrepreneurs, especially if we're gonna find that balance. Do you have routines and rituals to, keep yourself healthy, both mentally, emotionally, and physically? And what does does that look like?
I am, I've got a good habit with my health and my fitness. I do yoga, combination yoga, Pilates, walking, and I've just signed up with a personal trainer because I thought as I get older,
Yeah.
my bones and all of that, I've got to keep everything as healthy as possible. So I do that, but it's a habit.
Mm.
And I got to the stage where I thought, well, if I stop doing this stuff, then I will have to build it all up again.
Yeah.
And now I've got to a stage where it's easier, it's less painful for me to maintain this habit than it is to think about ever, letting it go and just starting all over again.
All over
So
again.
that's the great thing about habits. Once you get into a habit, it's maintaining it
Yeah.
because you can see all the benefits of doing it.
Yeah.
So my health and fitness, I try and eat sensibly and I do intermittent fasting. So I do try and take good care of myself. The well-being has always been a big thing for me because I do so much personal development work
Yeah.
with clients and I've got to walk my talk.
Yeah.
In terms of my mindset, I do it daily. I work on my mindset every single day because what I've seen is my patterns over the years. When I do it, my results go up. When I stop and think, oh well, things are going really well, I don't need to do any mindset work for a bit now, then my results go down. It's almost like a graph. You could plot the two things and they just are in parallel. So I now know I have to do it every single day. Even the days I don't fancy doing it, I still do it. So what I do, and this is the stuff I teach my clients, and I'm just seeing if I've got it here. Okay, so what I do, first thing I do with my clients is say, okay, you need to set yourself goals, really exciting, scary goals. So I have a personal desire and I have a business desire, and I write them on a card And you can see it's, it's quite tatty because I have it with me. I put it in my pocket. I look at it several times a day because it's about repetition.
Yeah.
I don't want this goal to be like this theory sitting outside of me in the future. I want it in my head. I want to be thinking it, breathing it, living it.
Yeah.
I want to be emotionally connected to my goal. So I look at it every day. I write it out. I think about it. And that helps me to create the habits and the behaviors that align with my goals.
Mm.
So I really focus on doing the things in my business, outreach. This is how you and I met, speaking to people's communities, talking to my own community, making offers, etc. That's what I do. That's what I focus on. I've got a lovely team who support me in this. So that is my personal, my mindset
Mm.
ritual.
Yeah.
And this is what I teach my clients. Do it every day. Do it every day. The benefits, the consequences are so enormous. You will change your self-image, your self-concept. And I have different tools that I use depending on the client, how they respond, what they will actually, what tools they will use on a daily basis, because something suits one client but it doesn't suit another client. So I will customize their mindset practice so they actually do it, because it's only doing it that you get the results.
Mm.
You can look at things, you can read things, you can listen and say, oh yeah, that's great, move on to the next thing, but you haven't completely understood the concept, you haven't spent the time on it. So I will do everything that I can to keep my mind dominating on my desires
Yeah.
and my goals. I want that to be the dominant thought in my head all
Correct.
the time.
Correct.
What do I want in life? How's it going to, how am I going to feel when I get it? So I live that goal in my mind. It's not perfect. I go off onto, spirals, go down rabbit holes with my thinking, but I pull myself back very quickly because I've got that really sharp awareness, having done this for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I know when I'm wasting my thoughts, and I don't want to
So
waste my thoughts
I
on
just
rubbish.
wanted to say that since you were saying your mind going into the rabbit hole, but do you get distracted with the next shiny thing? Do you?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
I try and clear out my inbox for that reason because I just think I can't keep seeing all these offers because they all sound so good.
Mm.
But having wasted a lot of money over the years on shiny objects, programs I didn't use, which I didn't need, hiring coaches who want the right coaches. I think just about every entrepreneur you speak to will be horrified by how much money they've wasted over the
True.
years.
True. I mean, I'm also one of those, but I don't
Yeah.
think of it as wasted. I do maybe one or two programs. I might think, oh, that was a lot of money I wasted because I didn't get what they promised. But I actually believe that those most of it, 90% of it, was an investment in me. I did learn
Yes.
something, or I learned, okay, those people I don't, I can't be with those people. I learned something, but
Yes.
it was an expensive lesson, maybe.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think you chose more wisely than me because I was just saying yes to everything and now become very discerning about, if I buy anything, if I hire someone, I really do my background research
Yeah.
very, very carefully now. So now I'm not picking up lots of bright, shiny objects because I've learnt through trial and error.
Yeah.
So I tend to stick to my path more frequently now, and I kind of know what works for me,
Mm.
what the strategies that I enjoy implementing.
Mm.
I can't implement someone else's strategy if it doesn't, click with me. So
Correct.
I've learnt over time. I mean, I love doing interviews. I love just chatting and sharing information. So I kind of figured out what I enjoy doing, and I try and stick to that.
Yeah, yeah, that is so true. I also love to connect and as you said earlier, I love to build networks and just to connect and collaborate in different ways. For me, that is working now because um it is a lonely journey to be an entrepreneur, but if you are able to connect with people from all over the world, it doesn't feel so lonely anymore. It feels like we are together on this journey and more or less have the same path. Most of the people I meet want to contribute to the society, contribute to other people, and they are genuine. And then, and it's not all about the money, earning but it is, of course, we all want to have profits in our business, but it's not just about earning money. So, yeah, it's easier when you feel you meet people with the same values and principles. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I want to ask you if, yes, uh, if what, sorry, um, what is the most important advice that you want to give to people who are just starting on this journey, or startups, beautiful women who just never thought they would start a business, but they are starting now because they either they have to, or they are finding it difficult to stay in a fixed job?
I would say figure out your goals
Mm,
and create goals that really inspire you and reach for the stars with your goals. Don't settle on a little goal because that's what society's told you can have.
mm,
Forget about what your parents have said you should do, or friends and society and all of that. Just close your eyes and relax and daydream. Daydream about the perfect life you would love to have. Because any goal that you spend your time going after should be something that you really truly want for you.
mm,
Forget about resources, forget about the how you would get the goal, but write down a very, very exciting, slightly scary goal. Write a business goal and write a personal goal. And put in as many zeros as you want on your
mm.
business goal. And you may say, well, this is just, not true. This isn't realistic. But what happens when you set crazy goals for yourself is that if you spend the time really nurturing that goal, looking at it every day, writing it out, saying it, then what happens is that it starts getting inside of you and starts becoming very familiar, because it starts becoming like a familiar friend. And then when you do that, it stops just being a theory and it starts becoming a desire within you. And when you have a desire and you nurture the desire, that becomes your motivation. And as you keep focusing on that goal, it drops from your conscious mind, it starts dropping into your subconscious. And the subconscious mind is like a goal seeking machine. It wants to grab your goal and then it will do its job to start making it into a physical reality. And that's when you start getting ideas popping into your head, people show up, opportunity will knock on your door. You'll just feel inspired to take some action, to reach out to someone, because that desire starts becoming your dominant thought. But it all starts with figuring out what you want. And don't hold back. Just daydream like you used to daydream as a child. And don't think about, imagine all the resources. Think about the life that you want to live. Start from there.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nina. This was so enlightening. And thank you for sharing your story and all the beautiful journey that you had with us. And thank you for sharing your time and advice. We truly appreciate you taking out the time to give us your beautiful gift and helping and contributing to more people getting the sense of success, but also especially the belief in themselves and the confidence. So thank you, Nina, so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
So everybody, go and grab the gift and start working on it. And small things, small changes every day can make a huge difference in 1 year. Until next time, take care of yourself, be kind to yourself and to others. Bye.